Welcome, Field Home Farm Sessions, episode 309 on March 9th. I call it Unscripted Monday because I do not have a single topic on my sheet that I'm going to talk about, except it's in my mind. So, welcome, Bradford, Brian, the Chicken Man, Bradford, Ontario, hour and a half north of Toronto. On this beautiful, the sun hasn't come out yet, but it's a beautiful March 9th morning of 2026. The snow is almost gone in Mystery's part of the world. I'm sure it's almost gone because it has been over plus 10 the last couple of days. I think it's supposed to be plus 17. Then it's going to hiccup a little bit, but I know we always get surprised at the snow leaving, but it always happens every year. But this year was kind of quick, and then you just get a warm rain and you get the warm air, and next thing you know, the snow is gone. But I will tell you, when we were in Aurelia yesterday for my daughter's hockey, and I'll tell you that in a minute, it's a little exciting. There's still snow. We went to a couple people. Oh shit! Now I'm going to forget her name, but I know his name because it's Brian. Brian LaChapelle. He's a French guy, good guy. He's like 5'9" and built like a brick shit house. And his daughter is on my daughter's hockey team. So after I'll just get right to it. After my daughter's big fucking win, they won the second round of the playoffs against the top team. They put the top team Aurelia out, and it was just awesome. It was awesome. My wife asked me, we got home, were the parents like super excited? I said, I don't know. We were excited. Everybody was happy, of course, and we cheered, but we weren't like dancing around, running around the stadium or the arena or anything like that. We were very happy. We were just like talking like it was such a relief and such a shit show. So I'll give you the backstory on Aurelia. So we have about 4 girls that used to play for Aurelia a couple years ago, and the coach that they still have him, and he's just a complete dick. And he double shifts and triple shifts these girls, the quote unquote good girls. I mean, they're U13 double B. Like they're not double A. Even in a double A society, you're paying the same amount of money, and you still want your daughter to play or son. Hold on, unedit it. No listeners, no live listeners today. It's lovely. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so this guy double shifts and triple shifts, and just so these people left. I remember Brian, this other guy was saying they drove all the way to North Bay, which is 2.5, 3 hours. Well, you're 6 hours there and back, and his daughter played like 2 minutes. So even if the kid is good or not, you're not developing. They're not getting any better. So what? Like I don't understand. So he's doing that to these girls now, and they played 3 games in a row, Aurelia, and they beat. The story. All the parent talk, and I get into gossip. I don't try to gossip at the arena too much, but I'll gossip here. They played Collingwood the night before for provincial playdowns, which we made the provincials too. You know that. So we are in the provincials, which is Dirty Mike's favorite tournament of the year. We're gonna get a nice sweatshirt and everything else. Favorite term of the year in April, and we made that, so we'll see him there. And then we made the provincial. So Collingwood was playing Aurelia. We had already tied and beat Collingwood, and we lost to Aurelia and then beat Aurelia. But Aurelia had to play Collingwood for the provincial. So the story was they told us the night before they were winning. The Collingwood was winning 2-0, and they had these hometown refs. Apparently, he's the president of the association. Here's the gossip, right? Apparently, he's the president of the association, which you're not really supposed to be the ref, you wouldn't think. And he gave the Collingwood players like 6 penalties in a row, and Aurelia came back and won 3-2. So there was a big stink. He was there yesterday. There was a big stink. Everybody was recording it and made sure penalties were not stupid. I think that's why he reffed a fair game yesterday, and we beat them 2-0. So it was amazing. Like it was. I don't know if it was relief why all parents weren't going crazy, but I guess we're excited, and we just shaking our heads at the Aurelia coach and why you do that to those kids. And these kids, so he was trying to screw us around on ice times, and was trying to make out that they had no ice time this time. They had no ice time here and there. We were supposed to play them the last couple games of the year. I think that got canceled because they couldn't find ice times, apparently, quote unquote. or refs or whatever they're using an excuse for. And so time came to crunch, and they had to play this game yesterday. Coffee with Praveen. Yeah, you've been on me before. How are you? So I'm just talking about my daughter's hockey in near Bradford, Ontario. She plays for Barrie, Ontario, the Barrie Sharks, and they just played their second round. How are you? I am not. I just had a coffee. I'm not having a coffee, but I'm having a coffee. I never shut my. I never shut my phone off today. Where are you from? What do you want me to call you? Praveen? Where are you from? I think I've asked you that before, but um, hmm, um, Jen texted me like after a long time after, so that was a long time after your comment before. Afghanistan, holy moly! Isn't things kind of rough over there right now? The U.S. are over there. I know that's Iran, but it's still over in your part of the world, and things aren't good. And oil prices are going crazy over here. I think it's $1.54 a liter yesterday. And I think BC girl, she's gone home now. She left yesterday. Wow, I took my. I know BC girl, you're gonna listen. And when I was supposed to pick her up from the airport, I had to take my daughter to hockey. And then, like I said, this game was not supposed to be. Mysteries on, and Praveen from Afghanistan. So I was supposed to pick up the BC girl from the airport, and I had to take my daughter to hockey. And I was just telling you about the Aurelia Schnazzle, and we had to play yesterday, and I didn't take BC girl back to the airport. But my wife, I mean, they get along great. She took her back to the airport, so it's not like it's not like someone you don't know or trust or something that's taking her to the airport. Where am I from, sir? I am from near Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And so is Mystery. Mystery is a little bit farther away. He's about the same amount of distance, but the other way. It was kind of cool because we went to this where they played Aurelia, and my daughter smoked them. So we went back to this other Brian Le Chapelle and their house, and he said we're 55 minutes from the airport, and I said that's pretty fucking good. I mean, I'm only 40 minutes from the airport, but it's kind of, you would think he's a lot farther, but I said that's with no traffic. He goes, yeah, no traffic, and you're probably going like, I don't know. Mark Carney. Mark Carney is our prime minister, Praveen, but not all of us voted for him. We if we voted, that's the famous saying back in the day was if you vote you can complain, if you don't vote you can't complain. So Mystery, what's going on today for fun? There's probably no snow left in the old Georgetown. There's not much snow left here today, other than along the fence rows and whatnot. But Aurelia, Ontario, there is a lot of freaking snow, like a lot. So this is odd because I've been on my podcast for a while, and you go back, you look at your stats and whatnot, like I said before, and most of, if not all, of my listeners are from Ontario. So, and then then BC, but you know it's BC girl. But even Roscoe's not listening wherever he is, because Roscoe is the world traveler and whatnot. So, Praveen, I'm not much of a live conversation with going back. I don't have co-hosts, so I cannot. I don't even know how to do it. I can't let you in, but thank you for wanting to. But anyways. So on the Aurelia thing, this Aurelia coach, he's a real dick, and he doesn't play girls. And they played 3 games back to back, and it was because of their fault. So we had to have the regular season. The second round of the playoffs had to be finished yesterday. That was the due date. So this Aurelia, they didn't want to play on that day, and it's like that's the last day. If you don't play that day, you forfeit. So they had to play. And then the girls that they're double shifting, well, they're tired as shit. And the one girl, a couple girls, and they're really good if they had their rest. But we last Tuesday, a week ago tomorrow, we didn't have one of our quote unquote best girls there, and we still won because of the rest of the team picked up their socks and played a really good game. And you don't need, I mean, if you build a team and build a team strength, which our coach is doing, that your team is going to be unified as a team. And I think I do. He asked me, "Do you have YouTube?" I do have a YouTube channel, and I do put my podcast on YouTube. Mystery, what's going on? So yeah, so my daughter, they won against Aurelia, and they're going on to the third round. And if anybody knows, if people don't know where Bradford is, you're not going to know where Ottawa is. Mystery, do you know where Ottawa is? You have to pretty much. It's Field Home. Praveen, you're just going back and forth. It's Field Home Farm. Gee, I got to stutter. Field Home Farm Sessions. Anyways, Ottawa is just near Peterborough, and that's who we get to play next in our series. It was either going to be Ottawa or Kingston. And everybody's like, well, it's better to play Ottawa because it's closer drive. And I said, well, we have home ice advantage, so wouldn't it be better? It's right near Peterborough, Clevey. Don't use such swearing on here, Mystery. Did I say Clevey? Sorry, Mystery. It's not too far away from Peterborough, and everybody's like, "Oh, that'd be better playing them." I said, "Well, we beat Kingston, so I'd rather drive 3.5 hours and beat the team than drive an hour and a half and lose." So we'll see what happens, but we will see what happens. No Emmett today. What's going on? So, Praveen, what is the temperature in Afghanistan today? I didn't even know you speak English, or is there a translator there? I have no idea. I thought you spoke a different language, but that's all right. Field Home Farm Sessions is my podcast on YouTube. 37 degrees. Holy shit. That is a little bit hot. Hold on. I'll tell you the exact temperature is +7. So it is 30 degrees. Emmett Foster's on. It's 7 degrees. It is 30 degrees cooler here in southern Ontario, Canada, than it is in Afghanistan. Emmett, aren't you glad it's only +7? But this afternoon is supposed to be +15. Like I said, the rain, the snow is going to be gone. Tomorrow it's going to be +10. We're supposed to get 15 millimeters of rain, which means the snow will all be gone. And then the next day, it will be 5 to 10 centimeters. His brother lives in Ottawa. What does he do in Ottawa? Mystery, I'm going to guess. No, I'm not going to say it on here. Facts, Porcupine is on too. I got United States. I got a guy from Afghanistan. I got a guy from Georgetown. And I got a guy from Rockwood. All on the podcast today. It's amazing how, like I said, all my listeners, when you go back and you look at the stats, are all from Ontario, Canada. They are not from anywhere else. So nobody listens to my podcast outside, which is fine. I don't mind your podcast wherever you go. What's going on down in the U.S. today? Working on IT. What's going on today down in the U.S. Facts? You got the similar weather as us up here, so I'm assuming all your snow is melting like crazy. U.S. There you go. U.S. Canada. You can do the / U.S. Canada. U.S. Canada. U.S. Canada. Say we're the same people. We just have an imaginary line across that separates us. So we are not that much different. The U.S. and Canada. It's just our leaders try to separate us for some reason. But now Afghanistan, that's a little bit. It's a little bit farther away. But Mystery, you're just going crazy on the. I'm not going to say what you're going to say, but Facts. What's going on? You still? I haven't been listening for a while. I said it's been going crazy here. I was pushing snow. I got rid of the chickens. I said my daughter's doing hockey. I said you're kind of farting around the farm trying to keep things from this. There is so much. Hold on, I gotta look outside. There is a lake across the road because all the snow melted like crazy, and the water goes Canada, U.S., and Afghanistan together. That would be quite the deal. I don't know. I tried, like I said, Facts and Praveen. I try not to get too political on my podcast. It just it gets even though I'm kind of part of a political. No, I'm not. I'm part of a political part of it, but I don't want to get into it too much because you annoy people pretty quick if you don't agree with their opinion sometimes, and it's just like we all got to get along. Like, come on. He visited British Columbia. That's what the Praveen said. Well, I'm going there this Thursday coming up. So, Facts, when are you podcasting today? Emmett, what's going on? What is going on today? As I'll go back and tell you, my daughter won her hockey. Emmett never texts, but I'll ask him later, and then he'll tell me later. But I said his daughter's U18B, and I'm hoping that yeah, it's 10-15, same as here. I'm hoping that your daughter did pretty good in her hockey, and I hope they made the provincials. I know it's her last year. You can play U22, I thought, so I didn't know whether you were going to play U22 with your daughter or not. But my wife and the BC girl took the kids snow tubing on Saturday up to Snow Valley, and they had a great time. I did not go because I was not feeling the best, and my body just did not want to do it. Sorry, I was just reading some of the stuff on the podcast, but they went snow tubing. Afghanistan, you would not, Praveen, you would not. So you go on a tube, they blow up an air tube, and then they make a hill out of snow and ice, and you go to the top on a chairlift. They lift you up, and then you slide down, and then they have kind of speed slowers at the bottom, and you slow down, and then you go back and do it, and that's like a whole day of just. I don't know where KJ is, Mystery. Where is KJ today? She's probably working. She's probably trying to get some more money for her 4-H foundation. Um, I seen a thing about Lindsay Farm Show last week. I also seen a thing about Ottawa Farm Show coming up, and I think I'm pretty much done with farm shows. I mean, I've never been to the Ottawa Farm Show. It'd be nice to go, but the farm show's a farm show. Who knows? Facts, you are not all wrong. Facts is slide down, break a couple legs and arms if you're not good. No, they pretty much. I was down there a few years ago. I think it was during COVID, and they pretty much got it safety. Unless if you fall off, you're just gonna roll down the hill. Like there's not. It's pretty safe. Like most of the things this year, it's all bubble proofed, and it's pretty fun, and it's bubble proof. You're not getting hurt. Emmett likes the show. Very safe. I used to ski. Well, skiing's not the safest because you can fly off on your ski. Look at Lindsey Vaughn. You can fly off. I haven't skied in like 30 some years, but you can fly off the mountain and break your leg or hit a tree if you're not too good at skiing either, depending on the hill too. So, so yeah. So my daughter, they're gonna play Otonabee or Kingston, or sorry, Otonabee and Kingston could have been the other hockey they were going to, but now that's that. We got to practice on tomorrow morning, 6:30, which isn't ideal, but that's when the practice is. And then our manager, which if you ever volunteer for a job, do not ever volunteer for a manager on a hockey team because our manager is awesome, but he does a lot of work, a lot of back and forth. You have to schedule all these games. He's saying who's here and who's not here for March break. Well, we're gone for March break for a few days with the kids, and then he's going to ask other people, are you going to be here? Are they going to be here? And you try to line up games. Well, the one year I took the family on a cruise. We booked this cruise the year before in like October. Said we're going away March break because you shouldn't really have a lot of hockey planned for March break. And next thing you know, we missed 2 playoff series because of March break. So, Praveen says Canada house prices are skyrocketing. What was the reason? Well, you have the best guy on the podcast with us, Mystery, who is a real estate mogul. He will tell us exactly why are house prices skyrocketing in Canada. What is the reason? Now, if you're talking about BC, British Columbia, that's a whole different animal to Ontario. I think my non-expert practice opinion is that Alberta, everybody wants to move to Alberta, maybe that's why. Mystery, come on, get on here and tell me what your expert opinion is. Ontario houses are kind of flatlined right now, I think. I don't think there's a lot of people buying. The only reason they're not selling is people don't want to lower their prices to where they should be. Alberta, I think everybody's wanting to move there because it's a good province as far as taxes and living and whatnot. BC is very high in everything. I don't know what Alberta gas prices are. I should Google that. Google that, Mystery. See what Alberta gas prices are. BC girl was telling me that the gas prices in BC are about 180, 190. There you go. Mystery says supply and demand. See, Mystery's he's my intellectual person on here. Everybody else is not as intellectually sound as Mystery. Mystery knows all about real estate, all about housing, all about the economy. What is silver going to do, Mystery? Because I don't even know why I look at it, but I always look at it. I say, wonder what. Like I sold for 16. What was the price? I was looking at stuff the other day. 16.85, and then it was down to 608. And I told you I made like $500 last week. And then I keep looking for some reason at what silver is going to be, and it's kind of still hovering around the 16.15 mark. So I'm trying. I shouldn't even. Does Mystery have a link to silver purchasing that is safe? What did Mystery tell me? House Sigma. I don't know if that's in the States or not, but buy at $15. Mystery, are you going to buy at $15? Too much time at the stock market a bit, Facts. This is how Mystery and I talk. We used to talk all the time on the phone and text once in a while, but now we converse on the podcast. So you get to hear the live conversation. So type it in. I don't know. House S. You know how to spell house. SIGMA. Sigma, right? Mystery. That's a House Sigma, but how far do you live out of New York would be the question. Praveen, you're back on again. What happened? You went off, you went on. Praveen wanted to get on the live podcast, and I said, well, I don't know. But anyways, there's a guy, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I'll talk about it briefly. But there's a guy, like I said, the Doing It Wrong Dairy he's an American from Wisconsin. He's a dairy farmer, smaller dairy farmer. He's pretty good on podcasts and whatnot. And he was talking about one of his friends took his own life, and that's never good. So he was choked up and crying, and it was you cannot help tear up when you're listening to him talk, because it was one of his good friends, and the guy's down to earth. Like he's a pretty good down to earth farmer, just like I was, Mystery was, Emmett still is. Those down to earth farmers milking not that many cows, and one of his good buddies just, I guess, couldn't handle it anymore, took his own life, and that's never good. So he was pretty choked up about it, and he was talking about the get help and the mental, all these mental helplines and whatnot. And if you're ever thinking of doing that, give one of these things a call, and like you said, reach out to your buddies, reach out to your friends once in a while if you haven't heard from them in a while, and just see how they're doing, and make sure they're okay. Everybody has something going on in their lives, and nothing's perfect, but you'll get through it. It's things are always better, and somebody's always doing worse than you. So I mean, I don't know if that's a good pep talk, but it's things will get better. Let's put it that way. So stay safe out there, and look on the bright side. Go for a walk, have a coffee with Praveen. Listen to a podcast that's positive. I hope mine's positive. Listen to something that's positive. Listen to some positive music. I don't know. Do something that makes you happy. Go for a walk. I like watching. I like watching rivers and ditches. I like watching water flow. This is like kind of one of my best times of the year. You just hi Jackie. Is this? It's not Jackie Dobson, I don't think, because Jackie Dobson has a different. Oh, Mystery, you know how to make me smile. Mystery says get a BJ. Well, that's not always always accessible to everybody. Oh, Mystery, you make everybody laugh. That's a good thing. I know he's making it laugh. Maple syrup season is coming. Or sorry, maple syrup season is here. I was talking to Brian there yesterday. He's got all these maple syrup buckets. Hubie Gin is hardcore at the maple syrup. That is in Vermont, down in the States there. Maple syrup is huge. And I don't ship to the U.S. What do you want me to ship to the U.S., Facts? I don't... maple syrup, you need cold nights, warm days, the sap starts flowing, and then you got to start. I don't know, Hubie Jen, you have to give me some text and whatnot if it's a good year for syrup. I don't know. Usually it's February, is it not? Like I always thought it was February maple syrup season, but now it's March 9th, so I don't know what's going on. But stay good, take it easy. Thanks everybody for listening, and people are jumping on and off. Listen to the show from other countries online, and Praveen left from Afghanistan. So thanks for listening, Facts, and talk to you later.